past 8 years. Okay. You want me to make my introduction?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. So yeah, I've arrived in France when I was 17 years old. So I started doing economic and administration degree, undergraduate degree, and the University of Montpellier. And afterwards, I continue with a master's, so in the EIE of International Business Engineer. So it was from 2017 to 2019. Well, during my master, I was really happy to join it because like I got to well, of course, to meet different friends, but also to have different interesting courses that allowed me to have the basic and like general knowledge of what I do today. So that was quite interesting. Of course, there were like different exchanges that we had to do. So me, for example, I went to Belgium, so to the KU Leuven University, and it was a great experience because I had the opportunity to learn from other professors, to learn different topics and interesting subjects that will of course help me afterwards in my different internships and in my professional life. Well, what else? I also had the opportunity to do different internships. Actually, the EIE is like related to Job Teaser, and in Job Teaser they are in partnership so with the Procter and Gamble company. So this is the company in which I am working today. At that time, I requested to do an internship, but well, I couldn't do it because it wasn't like they couldn't propose me the dates that I wanted. But afterwards, it allowed me actually to join the company. Well, when I was looking for a job.
So it
Uh,
means that you didn't do your internship there, right?
No, I didn't do my internship here. Well, I was accepted, but at the time I had to start the internship. I think it was on April or May, the latest,
Right, for
and
M1, right?
yeah, and they proposed me for June. So it was already too late because well, I had to give my thesis like in September, I think.
So,
So
but these allow you to have the contact and then they remember you and then you can go back. Is that like that?
yes, that's it. So yeah, they told me, okay, doesn't matter. So when you are looking back for a full contract, just come back. And well, of course I had to pass the three interviews afterwards, but well, I didn't have to pass all the process of the exams and the yeah, well, all the exams and the preliminary, let's say like a stage phase.
Okay.
So yes, I also had the opportunity to do different internships. So in Montpellier, so with the first company, which was a startup. Therefore, I did one internship there in 2018, 2018, and afterwards I actually worked there for 8 months in 2020. So when it was COVID, and it was also a great experience. So I had the opportunity, well, to speak in French, to speak in English, to speak as well in Spanish, which is my native language. So yeah, so today, well, I'm working at Procter and Gamble. So for the past 2 years and a little bit more. I was a sales manager before until the month of September. I worked in the region of Orleans, so I was in charge of a portfolio of different clients that included different supermarkets. So I was in contact with the directors and with the different sectors managers, and well, I had to negotiate well the different assortment, the different promotion, and the different visibility for the products. So just to resume, and since October, I changed my role. So right now I am in Paris. I am the brand manager for Oral B and Brown for France.
Mhm.
So So yeah, so that's a little bit about me. So yeah, feel free to ask as many questions as you want. So very, very happy to be joining you today.
Maybe what about your first and your second internship? Is there any link, or what do you suggest, to stay in the same company or changing the company is better in your opinion? What would be your suggestion?
Actually, for me, it was actually always like kind of like my goal to join like an international big company. So as I was first in the startup, well, it was a good opportunity. It was nice. I mean, I had a great salary, but I wasn't able to to upgrade. Like, I mean, like whether I left, whether I mean, I took over the company, so it was impossible. So that's why, like, I was looking for international companies, and well, Procter and Gamble, yeah, it was one of of the companies that was always in my, let's say, in my mind, and that's why like I applied to Procter and Gamble, and that's why I changed. So I don't know.
Okay.
I think it depends on each one's goals, each one's objectives, and what they want to do or what they are interested in.
Okay, maybe I will let each one of you introduce yourself, and then we will open the room for the discussion at the end. Okay. Thank you so much for your presentation. We will come back to you with the questions, hopefully from our current student. The second one, I would like to ask Alexandre Drone. Hi.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Hey, thank you.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Glad to be back once more.
Where are you now?
Currently I'm in France, but I'm just here for
Ah.
holidays, and I'll be back to Montreal in 2 days. So yeah, heading back to Montreal.
Please introduce yourself and your experience, which I may know better than the others.
Yeah. So hi guys, nice to meet you. My name is Alex. I'm a graduate student from the IB Master in 2020. And if we come back on my scholar story, it's kind of been it's been a roller coaster ride. I've done mathematics studies. I'm from France initially, so I've done mathematics studies and 1 year of engineering school. Stopped all this, went to undergraduate studies in foreign applied languages, and then 3 years of master because I did twice my first year of master. And basically, so what happened there? So because you were speaking about mobility, I had the amazing opportunity to go to Japan for my last semester of Master 2. Well, it was not the last semester at the time, but in Master 2, I went to Japan, which has been an amazing opportunity to broaden horizons. And I highly recommend all of you to take this opportunity, because it's the only one you'll have as a trial for a country without having to stay after there. So yeah, it's an amazing opportunity to take. So that's what happened. And then I did, so when I was doing my master, I started to specialize in marketing. More and more, it was sales and marketing. So I did take the option, because we had the options there about sales. And then I moved more to marketing. And I did find, like Fatima, I did find my internship. And I did my research through a job teaser, partnering with the IE Montpellier. And my first internship I did was, I found it by a job teaser. So I joined a company called Jacobs Douwe Egberts. That's a major food group in Europe. They're producing coffee, and you might know them better for their brands like, for all French people, that can definitely ring a bell. That's L'Or, Tassimo, Senseo, Jacques Vabre, Grand-Mère, Illy, Maxwell House, Velours Noir. Those are all the brands they own. So I joined them as a product manager assistant, and that was my end of studies internship. And I had the opportunity there to stay in the same company and just change roles at the time. So when I finished my internship, there was no opportunity for me to stay at the headquarters, and I had the opportunity to stay and to take field experience, which I did take. So I went for I would say 8 or 9 months on field, and I've been a field sales manager. So I spent 8-9 months around Paris. I was northwest of Paris at this time. And I was just responsible about sales, about optimizing merchandising, sales, and promotions. In my area, I had 41 stores that I was handling, so mainly hypermarkets and some supermarkets, and I was managing them. And if I come back on product manager assistant, which was my internship, I was in charge of the Nespresso compatible capsules for all the brands there, and I was in charge of product development, new product development, product optimization, and all the branding aspect, like market studies and how to get things getting well, promotions, and how to better activate promotions. So that's all the basics of marketing that I was doing there. After that, there was still no opportunity for me to stay in the company because my objective was to take some field experience and to go back to headquarters, back to marketing, and there was no opportunity for that. So I did leave the company, and I was offered another opportunity as a category manager and a product manager assistant at a group called GB Foods, and they're more known as well for their brands. For French people, that's also going to ring a bell. Those are soup brands, and it's called Liebig and Wako. And I've worked for them for almost 1 year before completely changing my mind, which I did. And I'm now living in Montreal, so I'm now fully settled in Montreal. I went back to studies because I had a dream at the time, and I'm back to studies, and I'm doing a flight school to become an airline pilot. And at the same time, because I'm not losing marketing and I'm not losing what I learned in the master, I'm still using it because I do have a side job, and I'm a marketing manager for two companies. They're linked, but still for 2 companies. And that's kind of how it went from the very start.
Yes, thank you very much, Alexandre. I think it's very clear, but maybe because for me, I know, so it seems clear for me. We will see if the student will have the question after that. Okay, thank you so much. We will move to the next one, Shu Dan.
Yes, your pronunciation is correct.
Your last
Hello.
name. Gui, I don't know how to pronounce that.
Shu Dan Gui.
Gui.
Yeah.
Okay, nice
Thanks.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I'm pretty happy to be here because I just know many of our many of the guests we were in the same class before, and long time no see you guys, and I hope everything goes well with you. My name is Shu Dan, and I was in the same class with Fa, with Alexandra, and with Ian. And for me, currently, I'm working at the City of London Corporation Beijing office, and City of London is the governing, which is a governing body of the City of London. It's the kind of financial center of the UK, and they have kind of a representative office in 4 different cities all over the world, 2 in China, 1 in Belgium, the other one is in India. So me, currently, I'm working at the Beijing office. And the job I'm covering right now is mainly about to cooperate with our London office colleagues in regarding to connect the China and UK stakeholders to promote UK as the global financial center. And currently, we are the co-chair member of UK-China Green Finance Task Force, and we supported several green finance projects in order to support the net zero transition in finance area in China to promote the best practices of the UK into China, because China, we just have some problems in the net zero transition in finance area. So we would like to promote UK's benefits in that aspect to China. So this is the job I'm covering right now. And back to my study life in France, I have to say Montpellier is the first city that I went abroad. But before that, I never been abroad before, and I don't speak French. Even though before I applied to university in France, I did learn some French on my own, but not quite professionally or not quite systematically. And my life in France, I have to say, it's kind of a challenge, but also memorable. And yeah, you know, in the very beginning, many pressures from study, from language, from a totally different environment. It takes me some time to get used to my life over there. But well, I have to say, the challenges helped me to grow and to become a matured person. I don't know. In terms of my exchange study, I choose to study in Ireland, in Dublin, the university named as the Dublin Institute of Technology, and now it is just composed in a kind of huge university aligned in Ireland, and they name it as Technological University Dublin. It's the biggest technology university in Ireland right now. And yeah, in Ireland, I just spent about one semester, 4 months, I think. After country I've ever been, and I cannot say I did pretty well on my study over there because I have chosen some quite difficult subjects. For example, marketing, for example, financial market analysis, courses like that. I've never been touched before, but fortunately, I have some I made some very nice friends and classmates. They helped me a lot. Apart from that, we still we became good friends too. So that is another thing I would like to say. To study or to work or to live in different places. It's not only about, okay, you get a good job, you study pretty well. Another thing is that you just broaden your horizon, and you just learn something new. You meet new person, and you know, okay, there's a different place that different people live in a different way, and it's kind of way for you to refresh your insights towards your life. And it also inspired me to figure out what kind of life I really want, and what kind of person I really want to be, and what kind of person I really want to be with. So I think that's more meaningful to me compared to the subjects. Well, I have to say my professors, they are all very nice, but I'm not good students. Yeah. In terms of my internship, yeah, I made similar situation as far because some reason. For me, it's because of the visa problem. I cannot complete my internship on time, so I failed to take the first internship. It was in Luxembourg, but I cannot take it. So I prolonged my study year in order to prolong my visa. So I talked with my professor, Gilles de Lanauze, Mr. Gilles de Lanauze, Dr. Gilles de Lanauze, I'm sorry. Yeah, and he was very nice, and he told me that, okay, you just need 1 year to find internships. You don't have to come to university for any courses because you have passed them all. So I took the one more year to do internship, and I got an internship in Paris. Back then, it was a pharmaceutical company named Gilles, and I was in charge of the marketing relevant jobs. I was working as the associate product manager. Well, for that kind of for that part of experience, I cannot say they're happy or it was successful internship because I did face many challenges, and I did notice that there are many things I need to improve. For example, I was too nervous, and I was too how to say, I just don't believe that I can overcome these difficulties and challenges from my work. I was not confident enough, or I was not there to ask for help. So, which made me quite disappointed during that period of time. And in the end, my manager told me that Shudan, well, I think you are very good, you're very nice, you're very kind, but the thing that I think maybe you are not quite into the job you are doing now, and I think maybe you are not quite into the marketing relevant jobs. So I just changed my job or career direction, and because the second year of my master study was purchasing direction, so I applied jobs at procurement direction. Then I got one. It was at the British Council, and I was working as a procurement administration officer. Yeah, it was a short-term work, and after the contract was over, the head of the department asked me whether I want to stay, and I just said no because from that period of work, I just noticed that well, the working environment and the people over there were not quite fitting me, and I realized that procurement was not something in my mind that drive me to work on. So I just switched my career goals again. Then I got a job at the City of London Corporation in Beijing office. Then I started to work on the green finance relevant work. I know it's maybe for many of you, it's not a good example for like me because I just keep switching. I think it's also
I think it's important to find
me.
Exactly what do you like, no? So that's what I told the student also, that the internship would allow you to know what you like exactly. And we have a chance to do like 2 internships, so you can try something different.
Yeah, I think the more important thing is that you from the challenging time or the failed internship experience, they just made me start to realize what kind of person I am and what kind of thing I really want to do, and what kind of life I really want. I think that is something that more important. I think to find the inner drive and to find something that you didn't acknowledge before, but it is always in your mind. Just maybe you're maybe because of other things that bothered you to realize it. That is more important to me, I think. Yeah. That is pretty much about my experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm sure that during the discussion, you will have the question like, how did you do when you didn't speak French? How could you arrive? How did you pass through those difficult times to find internship, you know? Because I think we have a lot of students who couldn't speak French and now they're really worried about that. So maybe we will come back during the question session, okay?
I still don't speak quite good French.
Okay, maybe next one. Thank you so much. Shudan, we will move to Jawad, Jabalane.
Yes, hello.
Yes, okay, sorry.
You want to say something?
No, it's just for because I think Shudan is in Beijing now, right? So it's like, what time is it there? No?
I'm in China. That is why my mind just doesn't work properly.
What
it is
time
about
is it there?
1:30.
1:30 in the morning. Wow, thank you so much.
I'm sorry.
Shala, can you turn off? Yes, okay. Sorry to interrupt you, Jawad. Please introduce yourself. So you're in the same class as the others, same year?
No, not at all.
Okay.
A long time back. I'm quite a little bit old, but I've got a specific experience. So I worked for pharmaceutical companies for 14 years in France and a little bit in Spain, or a company called Lanauze. It was only, dedicated on psychiatry. So after a while, so salesman. After a while, I didn't like anymore what I was doing, so I was looking for an exit. We found an agreement with my ex-company, and they took care of me for 3 years. So I was looking to finish my studies, and I was looking to move from France for specific reasons, but mainly to do business. So that's why I joined University at Montpellier. After my first year, my first internship was for NTT, a Japanese company, here based in Dubai. And if I am very transparent with you, it's a friend of mine who knows someone. This is how it happened, right? So I came here in Dubai for 6 months, 7 months. It went very well. They want to keep me in Dubai, but I just want to finish first of all my studies, right? So this is what I did. I went back to Europe, Spain, to finish my second year, where I did study mainly finance. Again, I'm since ever I am a salesman, right? So I knew where I want to go and where I want to work. But that being said, once I finished my master second years, I've been contacted by the same company, asking me to come back to Dubai for them, which I did accept. I worked for them for 6 years. I started as a key account manager. Afterwards, I took the lead of the office in Dubai. And after a few years, 4 years, again, my advice, don't do what you don't like, right? There is a time, even if you've got a nice salary, whatever you want, a nice condition, if you don't like it, leave it. And you will find, something which matches with your requirements. So I left the company after 4 years, and now I am, since 4 years now, close to 4 years, I joined a company called Logitech, you may all know. I am still based in Dubai, where I am leading since Jan, but I was acting previously. I am acting the channel and distribution alliances business for Logitech for the full America region. So what's the benefits of having been in Montpellier at the university? First of all, to come back to the reality. When you work for a long time for a company, you do believe that, nothing's changed, etc. And it was nice. I was, I think, 35 years old when I went back to Montpellier. So yeah, to come back to school, it has not been easy. But again, it allows you to better understand who you are, where you want to go, and what are your goals, right? And this is what's happened in Montpellier. It gave me also the opportunity to go out of France to discover some other businesses. Spain, Dubai, and so from my internship, this is where I came up to Dubai, where I discovered a different environment, culture, people, and businesses, and how to do business, right? I am a French guy, born and raised in France, originally from Morocco, worked all my life in France, and when you go out, you better understand, the business. So I think international experiences will help you to better understand where first you want to go, and after to do what. And the what is very important, but again, it's a very short introduction. Do only what you like. This is my advice based on my experience.
Thank you very much. Very nice conclusion. Do what you like. I think it's the happiness for everyone if you were able to do what you like, and for me as well.
If you allow me,
yes?
Again, it's not.
No, you have time.
There is no
okay.
pretension. But so I started with a bachelor. So to integrate pharmaceutical company in Europe, you have to have a specific, diploma, right? So once I finished, I went for a work. The main idea why I left school, it was about getting my own salary. It was well paid, etc. But after a few years, you felt like not really happy about your decision, right? But if you don't know, because you are attracted by cash, but you are young, right? So yeah, take time, enjoy school, get all diplomas you want, right?
Yes.
And afterwards, it will be time to get some nice salary and just to grow up in terms of business. But yeah, don't go too fast. My advice.
What you can tell the students saying that there are lots of courses, they have a lot of difficult time, the time that you had during the master and the time that you have during the work. How can you compare that to explain to our students?
It was easy at school, trust me. It was easy at school right after. Actually, what is the time? Yeah, it's 9:30 here p.m. I've got a call in 30 minutes. And I started this morning at 6 a.m., right? And it's not exceptional today. So we've got a large, working time. At Montpellier, I never had such feeling, right? You start around 9:10, finishing at maybe 2, sometimes 4 maximum. So you can enjoy time. So yeah, enjoy your time at school. But yeah, professional life and all people working.
Okay, may I ask which year that you be in IE? Which year? Like 2015?
I don't even remember the date of today.
No? Okay.
No, I don't know. I need to check on my LinkedIn, yeah. Oh, maybe hold on.
Thank you so much. Then we will maybe finally talk to Anson, right? I'm not sure if I pronounced your name.
Before that, can I just, sorry, yes? I'd like to jump on something that was said, and was said, like, you just said you need to do what you like, and and I would like to say, because every time we talk and we see that very often now, especially with new generations coming up on the market, I will have a big advice for you guys when you'll be starting working. I believe, and my biggest advice also is to show, to take the time to take the experience where you are, and to show loyalty. There are two mindsets. The one is, and you just said, Jawad, the biggest salary will come after, of course, because you gain experience, you do what you want, and then it comes naturally with it. More often now, we see people trying to evolve and to change companies, and we have young people changing companies every 6 months, every 5 months, because they find something else elsewhere. I would say, and that's the biggest advice, that showing loyalty to a company, I wouldn't say sticking with them for 10 years, but showing loyalty and take the time, because you don't have time in 6 months to gain the experience that you can have in 1 year or 2 years. It's taking time to get this experience. Will give you more insights about your job, about what you like, what you don't like, and it's gonna help you be more precise. And there's this thing that says, you know what you're losing, you don't know what you're getting. And also, like, they're like herbs, or I don't know how it's said in English, but it's always greener on the side. But yeah. Let's keep in mind then, for the company, it requires a huge amount of time to train you, to get you independent on a job. It takes you 6 months. It can take you, depending on the role, it takes you 3 to 6 months for her to, like, for the company, for you to be independent on your role. And take the time every time, because when you're in studies, you're for 2 years. You have a contract with the school. You can leave, but you have a contract with the school for 2 years. So you know you have this time to gather all the information. Do the same in your professional mindset. You're young, you'll be evolving. There's room for improvement. If you work hard, show what you have, and you'll move forward. But take time. The most important thing is take time to gather resources, gain insights, and better understand yourself, to better know what you want, what you like, and what you're made for. Because so many then people switching, we have people that are 40 years old, they're completely switching, and that's, as you said, that's always harder to get back to school, to get back to another field of business or whatever, to change things completely. It's harder with time, the more you wait. So make sure to do something you love, like patience in your work and dedication, is key. Make sure you get this before trying to get a higher salary, get higher, all that stuff. That's gonna come naturally, because if you're passionate, you'll be good. And if you're good, you'll get the
Okay, so the other point is we don't be too in rush, right? You need to be patient and maybe you can get something else. Don't judge it too fast, right? I just want to welcome Professor Gilles de Lanauze that just joined us. I'm not sure if he's here, no? Gilles?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. My best wishes for the new year. I'm sorry to be late for this webinar, and I'm very happy to meet everybody here. And okay, just go on. Keep addressing your best experiences and advices to our present students. This again, thank you for each of you alumni for this very fruitful participation and helpful advices for the present students. Thank you.
Thank you, Gilles. The student miss you a lot and they talk a lot about you as well. We just now have asked the alumni to present their experience, their company, and also the trajectory of their career path. And now we have the last one, which is An Son.
Yes. Is fine.
Yes, nice to meet you. I just saw an email between you and Sophie, but nice to meet you face to face. Thank you again for accepting to participate in this webinar. So we are more than welcome to listen to your experience.
Thank you. Pleasure is mine. But Alexandre, you are gonna hate me because my advice might be different, but yeah, let's
dive that's
in.
Nice to have different perspective.
Right, so I graduated in 2019, so that was like 3 years ago now. So I was fortunate enough to find my first intern. So a bit of background about myself: I'm Malaysian by nationality, so don't speak French till today. I'm 6 years in France and I don't speak French on a professional level. And I'm still living here, so thank God, not even myself. So opportunity is great. Prior to coming to ERA, I was actually in China working in hospitality. So I think the story is a bit like Jawad, that I got bored and tired of hotel industry. So I decided to quit, and then that's where I think my first interview was Mr. Gilles for our interview. And then I joined ERA in 2017. And then fast forward, I finished my course, specialized in sales, get my first internship through Welcome to the Jungle. So that's my founder etude kind of intern. So my role was like a lead gen intern with a company called Aircall. So it's really important for us to know what's our goal. So at that time of my life, I was focused on just trying to get an internship with the opportunity to stay in France. So that's the kind of question that I shoot at every interview I go for. Like, this is an internship role. Is there going to be a full employment after that? And I always share my values with the companies, because so I've been in the whole startup ecosystem since my internship till today. And the same question or the same values I share with them every time I go for interview is that startups always like to put their values everywhere on the website, everywhere on their email. So I also put mine out. So by seeing whether we resonate with each other. So I managed to do my internship and ended. And throughout my internship was where you start to see a lot of interns, everyone doing the same job as you, 9 to 5. That's where you get the competitive feeling, like what can you do more so that you get the full-time employment. So that's where I have meetings with my manager, like what can I do to succeed? What are you looking for? So that's where I challenged myself. I took on different roles, different stuff on my plate. At the end of my internship, I was given the role of a team lead. So I directly was managing up to 12 people at that point. And And then I got promoted into sales operations manager to focus more on sales operational stuff. FYI, this is not something that you learn much in school. Definitely ERA gave us a lot of knowledge in terms of sales workplace, a lot of sales knowledge, but sales operation is really something that you pick up throughout the job. It's very analytical, critical mindset, processes, like how you're gonna make things more efficient. So with Aircall, I joined them when we were still a startup, and I left when they were a unicorn. We were 500 people. So I guess that's great on my CV. So I had experience in like startup, scaling up, scaled up. So different stages of a startup, and it's crazy. You would go through the whole process, a lot of things to learn. And I only stayed with them for 2 years because that's where my ambition outgrew my loyalty. I'm loyal, but I'm loyal to myself. Like I told that to my managers, like, as much as I'm loyal to the company, when I hit the ceiling, I'm off. So if I stop learning, if I stop getting the salary I need, or I stop getting stuff, my loyalty is always to myself. So that's where I hit the ceiling. I move on to another company as a sales manager. I love sales operation, but I still prefer managing a sales team. So that's where I went there. And given that I have a strong experience in sales operations, that's where I got promoted into director of sales strategy, and I was overseeing stuff. Fast forward, I think end of last year, I moved to a new company. So smaller scale, smaller startup as a head of sales. So I'm essentially today I'm managing the whole sales function from sales development, account executives, account management. So I'm not gonna toot my horn, but that's where I am today. But definitely a lot of knowledge builds up, and that's where I say Alexandre is gonna hate me because I didn't stay in a company more than 2 years because my loyalty lies in myself. I'm transferring the company from the heads off. And that's where as students, we must always know our value, our worth. I've talked to headhunters before, and they're always like, loyalty is more like old school. New school is more like when you change job, 2 reasons that you change. If one reason you change is because there's a headhunter that comes after you, your profile is hot. You are like a hot cake. But if you change it on your own accord, it means that we have a term, it's called mercenary. In the startup world, we call people like this mercenary, which means you jumped for the same role just for more money. But make sure when you jump for improvement. That's where your profile gets hotter. That's where you become a hot item that everyone wants to go after. Never jump horizontal, always jump vertical. That's where I am today, that I just love to jump vertical. Horizontal for the few $100 is nothing, like just focus on building. But always know that when you stop learning, that's where you might hit the ceiling. If you stop learning and there's no opportunities opening up for you, it means that that's the ceiling for you. And as well as coming from a lot of startups experience, I know that this is where all of you need to be really strategic on the kind of startup you want to go after. Because as much as we always think that startups is where you learn, you enjoy, you play, it is wrong. Like it depends on which stage are they at. Is it startup, scaling, or scaled? Because startups, you wear a lot of hats. Scaling is where you really learn. Scaled up is like you are just a small cog to a bigger machine. So all of you need to be strategic about that. Like that's where it really gives you a good a base in terms of how you want to grow. But yeah, that's it from my side, I guess.
Thank you so much. Very interesting experience as well. Maybe now, as everyone have presented yourself, we will, I don't know, but I see that no one put camera on, right? For our current student. You were like that when you have a Zoom class or alumni? This is not a class, okay? It's the opportunity to meet with alumni. So if you can allow us to see you would be nice, so that we can make a network and know each other. I'm not sure if anyone from the student would like to ask any question. You can ask any question to anyone. Okay, it's too much. Too many people asking the question now. So maybe we can go one. No one?
Don't
It was,
be
I
shy.
think
And
some
you can
students
use you can also use the chat if you want to ask some question directly or without.
Yeah, I think some students just talked with us separately. Yeah.
okay, so you get some chat, right? Private message, right? But it would be nice also to ask out so that everyone could hear. Maybe the question could be like, do you have an internship for us? Do you have any internship proposition to us? No, nothing like that. No question.
Well, I just want to add something based on Ian's advices. Yeah, because I know that from Ian's description, that, well, yeah, indeed, to be ambition, to be loyalty, to be well planned, are quite important when you look for an internship or to find a better development on your professional career. But what I want to say is that on the top of that is you know yourself. So the things that you need to find the inner drive, what kind of person you are, and what kind of job you think you might be interested in doing so. So yeah, for yeah. Yeah, so I think for our students, if you're still quite anxious or nervous about, okay, well, I cannot find internship now, blah, 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 blah. Well, yeah, it's indeed quite normal because I've experienced such kind of time before. But I think the thing is that why don't take this period of time as a kind of a chance to find out what hide in your mind, and to think clearly that what are you anxious for and what are your nervous for. Okay, you are nervous because you cannot find an internship. Then think it deeply. Apart from internship, is there anything else that behind it you are worried about and you are anxious about? Then figure out the true factors that that make you quite anxious. And yeah, I think compared to kind of a shining title, a big company working experience, to make you have a kind of clear picture of yourself and to have a happy life are quite more important. Because from my first internship experience, I have to say it was quite good internship chance, and they paid me pretty well, and my boss was very nice to me. But the thing said, the thing or not something I want to do, and the product is not something that persuasive enough for me to buy it. So I was pretty suffered at that period of time. On one hand, I want to finish this internship, and maybe I want to get the chance to stay in the company. But on the other hand, it said, okay, I don't like the work I'm doing now. So I was quite anxious and suffered. Then when you really figure out, you will know, okay, so what if I don't get, if I cannot stay in the company, if I cannot get a kind of a good rating on my internship evaluation form. So what? At least I started to know, okay, there's something I'm not good at. There's something that I'm not really want to do. So I think it's also a kind of important step to realize yourself. So just good days you're good, bad days you're even better. So don't feel so anxious. Yeah.
And I like to jump on it as well, because you talked about like moving on things, but like if we go back to I believe I believe major parts of students here are M1 students. We're going to do their first year master internship, right? Am I right? Something is like master 1 students mainly, right?
Yes.
Okay, so basically for like most of you, it's going to be your first time doing an internship in a field that kind of resembles what you're doing in your life. And that's very different. And that's going to be very different from now on from having the job like interviews to get into a master or whatever. You're going to have to learn to sell yourself, and in a way that you're not facing like other students that are applying to the same master, all that stuff. You're facing students or people that might be older from other schools that have other backgrounds, that are other specialties. And yeah, don't hesitate. Like, so you're going to have some failures. Like, basically, and if we go back, I was having a roommate in my master too. She did send 100 applications at a time, and she got refused to all of them. So that will happen. It doesn't have to stop you from applying. Like, don't stop, because when you see one thing, if you get rejected, that's okay. That's normal. Learn from it. Like, try to get an insight of it. If you get, more important, if you get refused to an interview, whatever, call them or send them an email saying, okay, I understand. Thank you for your email. Can I just get an insight of what did you make? Like, why did you choose someone else? What did the difference? And then work on it, then see how we can improve it. And the more you're going to do it, the more natural it's going to come. And the more natural it's going to come, the easier it's going to be to learn to sell yourself and to move forward. And like you're lucky you're in a master with, I don't know how the proportions are now, but like, let's say half or nearly half of international people from across the world. You're learning to work on project groups, on whatever, with people from different cultures who work differently. That's multicultural. And this is a very, very important key asset. You know how to work with a vast majority of cultures, with multiculturality, and you know how to adapt. And that's your high adaptability that is making you super unique, because you can adapt. And in an international internship, they know that you can adapt to their country where you're going, first of all. And then, because if they're working international, they're working abroad, you're speaking English, you're perhaps speaking other languages, and you can adapt to the keys, codes, and habits of working with people from different cultures. And that's a huge key asset that was, in my experiences, that was put up front, and that got me my jobs, is because of that, because I was working for international foreign groups, and they knew I could handle that. No, just keep that in mind, because that's going to be helpful for you.
Thank you so much, Alexandre. Now we start to have some questions from the chat. Gilles, you would like to read it?
Well, no, just I'm very, very interested by the question asked by Ayet on the chat regarding the foreign perception of the French university at the national, from abroad, you know, how a French degree is perceived by abroad foreign recruiters.
I can talk about Canada on my side. We'll see everyone. But for Canada, we have, I know we don't have this feeling when we are in France, especially us French people, but France has a very good reputation. And they know that we are hardworking, and that our level of we are trained and to a high level and to high standards. So they know what to expect usually. And because in France, even in this master, you're trained and you're kind of in a generic manner. Like, you have finance, marketing, all that stuff. If you go to North America, they're trained on a very specific field. They're specialists about things. but they don't know everything else. So this is a key strength for you, because you specialize in what you want to specialize in. If it's sales, it's sales. If it's purchasing, finance, marketing, whatever, HR. But your key asset with your training in France, and that is recognized worldwide, is that except that you have basics in everything. And you'll see that in a company, everything's interconnected. In marketing, for example, you need to have basics in sales. You need to have the basics in finance, because when we're going to talk about you about the cogs or whatever, if you don't understand what it is, you'll get a harder time to conceive a financial marketing plan. And that's your job in marketing. So yeah, I mean, having basics about all of this is recognized worldwide, and they know we have a high standards. So
do they make a difference between public and private higher education institution from abroad?
No, abroad we're not aware. It's more in France that we had this question when I applied in Paris for Jacobs do Egbers. We had this talk. At the time, the IIE were not that renowned. Now it's getting more popularity versus expensive private schools. Just keep in mind that private schools, they pay a lot, but they're buying a network. That's what they do. They do have the same teachers, same classes, all that stuff. They do not have more added value in terms of they're not better than you at all. They just have a bigger network. Well, just a bigger network. Just work, get your things done, work for your interview, prepare it. And this bigger network's not going to be a big difference. And internationally, there's no, I won't say like they don't see difference.
Okay, what about from China, Shudan? Well, yes.
Yeah, in China, I think apart from some very top consulting companies such as McKinsey, Bain, and Boston Consulting Group, the elite or top consulting companies like that, if you don't have quite a relevant experience, then you must have a quite a good education background. Apart from that, apart from these top consulting companies, I don't think Chinese companies or Chinese international companies, they care much about your education background. More important things is about your personal capabilities, something like that. And another things I want to address is that for us, we need to, as students who are looking for internships, I hope you can realize that university is something that you cannot change right now. You're looking for internships. You cannot just because okay, this McKinsey company, they require the students from Harvard, from HEC. So you changed your university name as this university. No, it's not realistic. The thing is that, okay, you accept the truth. Okay, no matter which universities you are from, now you have your university as your education background, but it's only part of your experience. The more important things is how you can make your experience, or how you can decorate your CVs more approach to the job description, and to make your CV looks like, okay, well, okay, I'm the person that maybe the company is looking for, and to figure out what kind of quality or capability that the ideal candidates need to have. Yeah, I think that is more important things to consider compared to care about the university names, sort of things like that.
Thank you, Shudan.
Thank you so much. Jawad, do you have something to add from Dubai side?
Dubai, first of all, it's mandatory for some specific position to have a kind of master degree and to prove it, right? But afterwards, they really don't care about which university you are coming from, etc. It's more from people, let's say it's more from Arabic people here in the GCC countries, where going to Europe to study, they are just looking after this, what kind we name high-level university, right? Harvard, mainly in the UK, mainly in the US. Otherwise, when you go and you expat yourself to these countries, no, public, private, the only issue is we've got, I'm sorry to say that, right? I am French again. It's about French people and our mentality, this kind of arrogance. And it's worldwide. Dubai is a worldwide city, right? So yeah, apart of that, yeah, everything is fine.
Thank you so much, Anne. I think we have a question precisely for you on the chat, right?
Yeah.
How can you answer that? You say that you're always loyal to yourself, but many times in the company, you have to make a confession and do some stuff that you don't like in order to get promoted.
Yeah. So when I say I'm loyal to myself, it's more about I always work towards my benefits as well as a personal level. But in terms of company, disregard internship or not internship, you always tend to do things that you don't like, but take it as a learning, because during my internship, I was in a startup. Like I said, that's why you need to choose the right company and at which stage the company is at. So for my internship, I entered a company when it was a startup, which means I had the chance to wear a lot of hats. That's where I start to do things that I like and I don't like. And then that helped me to define what I like actually and where I excel better. So that gave me a better picture. So yes, you're definitely going to do a lot of things that you don't like. That's why one of my values, like I say, I always share my values with my team, with my managers, with my companies, that one of it is transparency. So I'm quite transparent with my managers and even my team. Like we have a feedback loop. We always give feedbacks to each other. There's transparency, no sugarcoating. Because COVID hit, as of today, everyone is remote. So we have no time to sugarcoat conversations and then wait whether is it gonna hurt your feelings. We just tear the Band-Aid and let's get everything out. And then we move forward. So yes, you do a lot of things that you don't like. But at the same time, you do a lot of things that you like as well. That's where I would say for myself within startups, it's quite fortunate that as long as you do something that you don't like, there is a chance that you can mention it to your manager, and that if there's a vacancy, they move you to that department. But it also depends on the maturity of the company. So yeah, for me, I haven't found any obstacle as of now. So I tend to do things that I don't like as well. Because like sometimes it's a direct pressure from the upper management as well that, hey, you have to do this kind of thing. So it's in the job description. You have to do it. But as much as we say, try to do something you like, that's for sure. But also know what you're looking for. There's going to be a balance.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Gilles, I let you, I need to look for the charger, okay?
Say it again. What? Okay,
Yes,
I wanted to ask M1 students about their main concern regarding the first internship. You guys, what is the main problem that you meet, and to which the alumni could provide with a suggestion or advice or concern? This is the aim of this webinar. Please express your concerns. What is your main concern? What is your main difficulty now?
Find an internship abroad.
Oh, okay.
Like, where can we find, like?
Well,
just for your information,
I would suggest you to specify the questions, because to find an internship is a kind of a broad question. You mean you found it difficult on the channels, or you mean you found it's difficult to find a visa, to get the visa, or you don't know which country is much easier to get an internship? Thanks.
Like, I don't know where I can find internship offers, like for in the purchasing sector in Europe, for example.
Job teaser, LinkedIn, Indeed.
Welcome to the jungle.
Welcome to jungle, big one.
Like
Logitech.com. Just for your Logitech.com, the company I'm working for, right?
Yeah,
We've got plenty
the company's
worldwide.
website is the best place, let's be honest. Because let's just so you know, for a company, posting online has a cost. Posting on LinkedIn, posting on Indeed, posting on a specialized website is something they pay for. So a lot of companies, they're gonna post some little things, but some of them are not gonna post everything. So going to the company website is a great alternative. And if you have motivation for a company, let's say I really want to work for Audi, send them a, how do you call that in English? Send them a direct application. Don't wait for an offer. Sometimes they don't put the offer yet because they do not have the need yet, but they're having the need. They're just waiting for them to post it. Or sometimes you might create a need. They're like, oh yeah, we have this project and we might need an intern on that. Apply directly from. I do have an example from an alumni. She was called Beata. She was working purchasing and she absolutely wanted to work for PepsiCo. She applied in direct application in response to offers 23 times. And she hasn't been taken yet because of location, because she found something else. But she's still like, and they were post, and so many times she applied and you were like, oh, we haven't posted this yet, but we have this coming up in 1 month or 2 months. You'll be open to take this position.
Well, yeah. Another. I mean, you just remind me that I remember when I tried to look for internships in procurement direction, I noticed that there is a kind of huge factory near Montpellier named Royagan, right? It's kind of pet foods production company, and I noticed that there are quite a lot of mates work over there. So if you are interested, you can try to look out on LinkedIn and try to reach out to our mates who work in Royagan. And apart from that, I think if you're really interested in any company, and you can just sign up for their talent pools. Maybe currently they don't have quite fit jobs for you, but you sign up for the job newsletter, and they will send you the updates time by time, and maybe someday you will find that, okay, there is a job vacation that is for you. And apart from that, if you know some quite influential companies or department leaders on LinkedIn in procurement area, you can just follow them, because sometimes they will follow their company's job opportunities on LinkedIn. So yeah, I think it's kind of quite a useful way for your reference. Thanks.
And to jump on it, because you spoke about LinkedIn and something, let's be honest, among everyone here, if you haven't had us today, you will never, and for example, Jawad, you're recruiting for Logitech. If Jawad wasn't there, no one would have known that Logitech was recruiting. So basically, don't hesitate. We're alumni. We're the people that you can connect the most easily to, because we've been in your shoes a few years back, and not that long. It was not 20 years back. So we've been in your shoes. And in a few years' time, we usually reach positions where we kind of become influential enough to kind of be like say our company, oh, I might have someone, I might have an intern, or even positions that allow us to have our own interns. So don't hesitate. Check out the alumni, check out what they're doing, find them on LinkedIn. We're all pretty much on LinkedIn. That's basics. I think we're all on LinkedIn here. Check us out. See, and if there's someone that you find interesting, reach out to us. You have an amazing entry point to reach out to us and say, hi, I'm in the same master that you did 2 years, 3 years back. And that's we're very easy to connect to. Let's be honest. Someone sending me like, hey, I've seen you've worked for this company. Do you have a position? Even if I'm not working for this company anymore, I'll still have direct contacts. I still have a LinkedIn. I still have a direct emails. I'm like, I'm just going to drop an email. That takes me 5 minutes of time. But that's still a good entry point.
If you allow me just to add, we spoke about LinkedIn. I don't know, you know, outside Middle East Africa, let's say. But here in the region, LinkedIn is kind of useless, right? So companies are just posting lots of positions, which are fake positions, just to show people that, you know, their company are active and they just want to show up. You've got like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 applicants for the same position, but the position is not valid at all. So LinkedIn is nice to show up, to show who you are, what you are looking, to get some connections, even if connections, in my point of view, are mainly virtual. So there is no real, and trust me, my company is investing in LinkedIn. We are doing lots of trainings with them, how to approach, how to. The best way is to get in touch directly with the people, right? So either through LinkedIn, yes. Because I am French, polite, I reply to all the message, but I reply because I'm just polite. Otherwise, you know, it's a waste of time for me because I don't have time to look at LinkedIn, right? We are just harassed with work. So yeah, as Alex said, the best way I do think really is to go directly to the website of the company. If there is an open position, fine. If there is not, yeah, direct application and show interest. And just to finish, because I have another call that I still postpone, just on Ian, what he said. Ian, right? Okay. So I am hiring people, right? For my business in my region. One of the things I am looking, it's about loyalty, sorry. If I do see an application with people jumping, and again, it's my position, right? It's me, Jawad. It's not like everybody looking after that. But I don't go faster. I don't go deeper, sorry. CV on site. Because I do, as Alex said, invest on people, right? It's a cost for me. It's a cost for my commission, P&L, etc., right? So, and even I've got a position that we should not fail, let's say, right? So if I hire someone who leaves the company after 1 year, I failed, right? Mm-hmm. In my position, in my recruitment. So I do really take care about all those people jumping job after job. And here in the region, it's kind of a sport, right? Everybody's trying to jump to get $1,000 more per month, etc. So they are just looking after position. I am against that. And yes, I do agree. I am very old, 45 years old. So yeah, maybe old mindset, but it's my way of thinking.
Of course. Like I'm also hiring a lot. So we do look at that. That's why like whenever the CV have any gaps in between your experience or any gaps in between your studies, we try to fill in the gaps based on what we see in the CV. So whenever there's a huge gap in your CV, it's a red flag for me. But when you jump, I always look at what's the next step, you know, like with COVID, we noticed that a lot of people jump is because of they get laid off. So that's not a red flag. So as long as you put it in your CV, but if you jump for vertical, for us, it's like, why are you now applying again? Unless it's a headhunter referral, for me, it's a good stuff. But if it's you proactively coming to me, it's like, are you bored or something? So yeah, totally agreed on that. So loyalty in a way is there, but make sure like be strategic in your jump as well. One point there's gonna be a hole that you might jump into.
Perhaps we have more a vision, Jawad, for big companies, and jumping vertically, like side jumping, is more about, and that's how I see things, more about a startup mindset. And Jawad, you're working for Logitech, big company. I do work for big companies, and we have this vision for big companies in which you don't reach that ceiling you were speaking about, Ian. Like you don't, like in big companies, usually you always have room to upgrade in the same company. While in startups, you really easily reach the top and reach the limit of what you can learn. And you need to jump vertically. That's two, and I see that like this, that's two very different and distinct mindset. The startup one and I'm calling that big company, but that's not the big company. Like that's the traditional company one versus a startup one. I do see it as a very different mindset in terms of how things moving forward.
100% agreed. And this is maybe, yeah, I totally agree with you. I jumped from a position to the, so 3 or 4 positions within the same company, Logitech, in 3 years and a half, and only promotion. So I do agree. But I'm not here to do psychology, right? But I think Ian, when he jumped to France, when he came to France, his main target was staying to France. He doesn't want to go back to Malaysia or to China, right? So he has to find something. And he chose something because he doesn't want maybe to go back to Malaysia.
I'm in China currently. I'm
speaking about Ian. Ian.
I'm just staying.
I'm not in London.
So maybe, yeah, the first choice, your first choice, maybe I'm totally wrong, right? But was because you need to stay in France. So
no.
Maybe, no? This is what you said in the introduction, that's why.
Because that time I would love to stay. Like I was in China 6 years and then here like 6 years. Time might be up. I might jumping soon to a different country. So it's more about you follow the flow of where you like to enjoy.
My bad.
I'm not escaping the law, so don't worry.
But what you learn from that, for people, is that there are not two positions, not two mindsets, not two jobs that are the same. Working is not something that is like this. Working for a startup is going to be different than working for another company. Working in France is going to be different from working abroad. And there is enough room for everyone. And you just need to find the right spot for you. What's your mindset? How do you feel about things? And when you understand that, you'll know where you want to work in the world, what type of jobs you want, what type of responsibilities you want, what type of evolution you want, all that stuff. Yeah, there's room for everyone.
Well, what I understand from what you say, you guys, alumni, and I speak under your control, is that our students, they have good background, they have good CVs now, they know how to present themselves. They need to start the flow of applications. Of course, they will get a lot of refusal, a lot of no response, but at the end, they only need one positive answer. Is that all? So they just have to start the flow of application and send them, starting with the most appealing one to them, and the one with the most positive probabilities.
Yeah, and another advice I would give is if you get a job interview or an internship interview for a company like, I don't know, or yes, but I would like this one, take it, do it. And that's from a very personal point of view. Do it, train. Training is key. Train yourself. And also because I've been recruiting people, and that's the biggest advice I would give. Check their website, learn the company, know what they're doing, know how they work. Because the amount of people going to interviews and they don't know anything about the company, or they know the real basics, and just when you deep a little bit more, it's like, oh, what kind of markets are we on? There's no answer. Just get interest in the company and train yourself. Train. It's like theater. The more you train, the better you will be.
Sorry guys to interrupt. I have to leave. I'm sorry, I have to leave. I postponed another call. Thank you very much for the invite. Guys, all the success. And if you need a job within Logitech, please, LinkedIn, Logitech website, not directed to me, right? Happy to support anyone. Thank you again. Bye, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Gilles. Au plaisir.
Bon courage. Au revoir.
Merci, au revoir.
I have to jump
Thank
soon,
you.
but I have like 3 last tips that I always give people that I coach is first, so I know that we come from sales background or purchase background. But the most important thing when I was talking to a lot of people is that look at yourself as a product. Like in your career, the very first thing you have to sell is yourself. Convince that person to buy you to get you on board. So you as a product, you have your name tag. So as a product, that's your name. Your skin, your face, whatever, that's your packaging. Now talk about the ingredient, how we're gonna build you. All of you come from ERR. So what makes you different from each other? Because look at your peers, everyone has the same education. How are you gonna set yourself apart? So when you go into an interview, you need to know like what sets you apart from everyone else. What's your feature? What's your functionality? What you can bring to the table? First, convince me to buy you. So look at yourself as a product. Second, as sales, we always say, going in knowing, which means when you go for interview, when you go for a sales speech, when you go to sell something, going in knowing means that know the position that you're applying for, know the company that you're applying for, do your homework so that when you go into the call, instead of starting to introduce yourself and I'm how old, I come from here and there, it's more about you have this role that you want to fill. Is it a new role? Is it a backfill? Like, what is this role? Because if it's a new role, it's something that they are testing. If it's a backfill, it means that this role is forever for an intern. So that's where you get the knowledge back from them, going in knowing like what's their expectation from you. And then, what was my last point? I forgotten. Right, so I guess 2 points then. If I remember the third point, I'm gonna send it over an email, but this is the thing that is quite important when you go for interviews. Because personally, when I do a lot of interviews, I don't look at education. So what sets you apart is your experience. Oh yeah, my third point. That's where it comes to all of you are gonna graduate from ERA. Your certificate is just a piece of paper. I'm sorry to say this, yeah. That's where your first internship, your second internship, is it gonna give value to your paper or is your paper gonna stay as an A4 paper? So as much as you just wanna explore an internship, try to get something that adds value because that's how a piece of paper becomes a golden paper. So add value to your certificate. Unless you say, I don't want to do sales or purchase, I want to focus on marketing, you might want to do another master, but your certificate is important for M1 or M2 because that's where we say, right, this person comes from this education. We don't even look at school because when we look at education, for example, you come from sales background, automatically I know what kind of education you covered, what kind of skill set you come with this education. I don't look at school because school is not important. So sorry to say that, but knowing that you come from a sales school, I know that you have covered X number of topics. Coming from a different school or different degree, you come from an X number. So add value to that paper so that at one point, the paper is what you want to show. So how you structure your CV is also important. Like what's the eye-catching part of it? Is it gonna be first you put your education or first you put your work experience? Like for those that don't have work experience, put your education first because your school, like what Alexandre was saying, ERR is quite famous today. So your school does carry you a bit, but after M1, M2, when you have given enough value to the paper, you can confidently put your experience first before school. So structure of CV is really important. Like what captures the eye is the top right. And then only they go to your beautiful picture. So don't write the whole essay about yourself in the summary, just write key points like critical thinking, analytical, like what defines you as a product essentially. I'm sorry to objectify all of you, but that's my 2 cents since we are doing sales, myself especially. So yeah. Cool, I have to jump, sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ian.
Thank you so much, Dan. Very nice to meet you, and hopefully that we can have another chance to meet each other, maybe in Montpellier face to face, because you are in France, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm in Paris.
easier for us to invite you to see face to face in Montpellier. Okay.
Yes, please. I don't
Thank you
speak
so
French.
much. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone. Good luck
Bye.
with your intern and bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
I think we finished, no, Gilles?
Yes, you can conclude, Mew, if you want.
It was just a question we haven't answered, and it was for me, so I'm just going to answer it real quick.
Yeah, for Japan, right?
Yeah, for Japan. Why did you choose Japan? So I chose Japan because I had the opportunity in my undergraduate studies to go to Canada. So I've done North America. I basically know how Europe works, and I'm just doing things in a bit general way. And I wanted to experience the like an Asian country way to work. And as we said, mobility as per internship is the only opportunity in life that you'll have to try a country or try a job without having to stay. So try things, because try exotic things, because yeah, it's the only opportunity you'll have. Because then if you move to a country after that, well, you invest money in moving to this country and you don't come back that easily. If you move to a company, leaving a company is way harder than getting into a company sometimes. So yeah, just take this opportunity, internship to explore new things, mobility to explore new countries or to explore new cultures, because you have a return date. And that's very important, because even your mindset, when you're there and you have a return date, you're more focused on taking things inside of you. I moved to Montreal. Now I'm living in Montreal. Let's be honest. Have I visited? No, I don't have time, because I'm busy about all the administrative things, and because I live there. So I do have duties and I do pay my taxes there and all that stuff. So take this opportunity. You're a student, you don't pay taxes there, you don't have to find a job there, you don't, whatever. Take this opportunity to take the most you can about the culture you're going, their way to behave, the way to work. Maybe that's going to be an eye catcher. I went to Canada in my undergraduate. Result, my only obsession was head back to Canada. I'm in Canada now, I'm living in Canada. So yeah, that can be an eye opener, or just I like the country, but I'm not feeling that I'm at the right place there. Can be both, but take this opportunity.
And this is true for mobility experience, but for internship experience as well.
Yeah, true, exactly. Both of them, especially Master One internship. That's great. That's the best one to try things out. If you want to, you're like, I'm not sure if I want to do this or this. Try the second one before. Try it in your Master One, because the Master 2 one has a bigger impact. Why? Because after your Master 2 internship, you're off the market of studies. You're on the market to work. And if you did good in your internship, there are chances, and that happens a lot. Trust me, that happens a lot. That's they gonna offer you a job. It's better be something that you're more confident with. So try to get Master 1 as a confirmation or confirmation that you like something, and Master 2 internship more focused on something you like, and you've discovered you like. And my biggest advice is, because there were students that were doing that. Internships are not like an exam. They're not something you have to take lightly. Exams, we know how it rolls, right? It's a day before exam, it's 11 p.m. It's like, oh, I might open the notes there. We know how it works. Internship is not this way. Don't do the big mistake of taking an internship because you need to, by default. It's like, I'm just going to take something. That doesn't please me. I don't give a fuck, because yeah, at least I'm validating or I'm graduating. Don't see it like this. See the internship as something external to the studies, and that is bringing very, like Ian was saying, added value. And he was right. Your paper, your diploma is a paper that helps you, but it connects with your work experience. And if you do this, if you take random internships because you don't like it and because you don't care, it's going to take you 5 to 10 years to get back to something you like and to the level you could have while just getting back from the studies.
Thank you, Alexandre.
Very good. I totally agree with this, and I do appreciate to have a very good feedback from alumni, you know, when we would like to organize the webinar like this, and we have a good feedback, willingness from the alumni to participate in this type of contributions. And we know that you have a lot of work, you have a lot of things to do, and like Shudan, you are in China, it's really like 2 p.m. now, maybe 2 p.m. a.m. in the morning. So thank you so much for your contribution. Thank you so much for your willingness to share the message, something that you would like to tell to our current students. I really appreciate that. And thank you. I don't know how to say thank you to Gilles. Maybe you can help me.
Thank you again. Yes. Thank you for you, alumni. And hopefully it was fruitful for you, students from the M1. Hopefully it will be helpful for you to find an interesting internship for the M1. And don't worry, relax, but do the job. Stop the flow of applications, and then it will work. And see you very soon, and have a nice evening, all of you. And again, thank you to our alumni very, very deeply. Thank you.